Okay, my name is Enoch Mayo. I'll be taking you through the educational measurements. And the first topic is the educational evaluation and assessment. Assessment. What is assessment? This is the use of both formal and informal data gathering procedures to establish the extent to which learners have gained the required knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes from the following instructions. The results of an assessment are used in decision making. Okay. Evaluation involves the process of making judgment. It is the use of the result of an assessment in making decisions in relation to student learning. Teachers assess the learners so that they collect evidence to use in decision making, both the quality of the teaching. There is always a standard which informs the decision. The standard may also be true or arbitrary. For example, a typist typing 80 words per minute may be described as grade A typist. A child may be the 3 feet tall, may be described as short. In evaluation, one makes some value judgment based on uh, some standard characteristics. Characteristics of measurement. All measurements contains errors. All measurements are approximates. And another thing, the results of repeated measurements do not agree exactly. Just say that. So sources of errors. We have two, the following are the main sources of errors in measurement. Personal errors such as errors in manipulative skill of the person making the measurement, errors in measuring instruments, errors in method, using an instrument under conditions for which was not intended. So assessment, we have types of assessment. We have the diagnostic assessment, we have the formative assessment, and the summative assessment. We come the end of the topic. So the next topic, which is the role of objectives in educational assessment. What is an instructional objective? An objective is an intent communicated by a statement describing a proposed change in a learner. Is a statement of what the learner is to be, like when he or she has successfully completed a learning experience. So you have categories of objectives. Bloom et al. Ed. 1964, Rathwell Mercier 1964, and Horo 1972 categorize components of learning into what has now become known as the taxonomy of educational objectives. The categories are cognitive domain, the affective domain, and the psychomotor domain. The main contribution was to emphasize that all the three domains of learning exist, and that importantly, the respective domains of learning should be addressed consciously by educationists in general and by the classroom. Teachers in particular, rather than identifying the three domains of the taxonomy, they subcategorize the three domains. The taxonomy of educational objectives identifies 6 categories of cognitive objectives: knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. The next one, have the affective domain, is concerned with the development of change of values, attitudes, interests, and appreciations. Most educators feel that it is the responsibility of the school to develop positive values and attitudes. Hence, the need for teachers to state affective objectives. According to the taxonomy, the affective domain consists of 5 categories. According to the degree of internalization, we have receiving, responding, valuing, organization, and characterization. Then the last domain, which is the psychomotor domain, deals with the manipulative skills and body movements and are developed by several subjects taught in primary and secondary schools, including music, art, craft, physical education, home science, typing, and technical subjects. The psychomotor domain is divided into 6 categories. in ascending order of complexity and sophistication. These are reflex movements, basic fundamental movements, perceptual abilities, physical abilities, skilled movements, non-discursive communication. So those are the domains. On to the next, we have test construction, another topic. A test is a collection of items developed to measure human educational or psychological attributes. It can also be used to make predictions. Why teachers made tests? It is important for teachers to know how to construct their own test because of the following. The teacher made the tests can be closely related to a teacher's particular objectives and purpose. He or she knows the needs, strengths, weaknesses of his or her students. The teacher can tailor the test to fit her, his, or particular objectives, fit a class, or even fit the individual pupils. The classroom tests may be used by the teacher to help him or her develop more efficient teaching strategies. E.g., a teacher develops his or her own tests, administer them to the students as pre-tests, and reteach some of the information assumed known by the students, omit some of the material planned to be taught because the students uh, already the students already uh, the students already mhm. Where was I? No need. Provide some of the students with remedial instruction while giving other students some enriching experience. They are used for diagnosis, where the teacher diagnoses the pupil's strengths and weaknesses. The next, achievement tests. We have a variety of tests, so I'll start with achievement tests. Achievement refers to what a person has acquired or achieved after the specific training or instruction has been imparted. Hence, achievement tests are designed to measure the effects of a specific program of instruction or training, i.e., the extent to which students have learned the intended curriculum. Examples of achievements are tests are KCSE and KCPE. We have the aptitude test. Tuckman 1975 defines aptitude test as a combination of abilities and other characteristics, whether native or acquired, known or believed to be indicative of an individual's ability to acquire skill or knowledge in a particular area. On the basis of such abilities, future performance of a child can be predicted. Aptitude tests are tests that or examinations that measure the degree to which students have the capacity to acquire knowledge, skills, and attitudes. So we have the next test, which is the criterion tests, reference tests. Criteria reference tests are tests that measure the extent to which the prescribed standards have been met. They examine students' mastery of educational objectives and are used to determine whether a student has learned specific knowledge or skills. Criterion reference assessment asks the question, can student X do Z? Norm reference tests. These are tests which compare a student's performance on the test with that of other students in his or her cohort. For example, scores on a test given to Form 2, students can be compared to the scores of other students in Form 2. Unlike criterion reference tests, norm reference tests are not concerned with determining how proficient a student is in a particular subject or skill. So we have the next topic, which is the administration of tests and examinations. Practical procedures involved in the administration of tests and examinations. Number one, you have the teacher should inform students several days to the test about the purpose of the test, areas to be covered by the test and the type of questions contained in the test. He or she should prepare a register of attendance for each test and make sure that the students sign it up upon receiving and handling in their answer scripts. Okay, the teachers should return on the chalkboard the starting time and the finishing time. You should also ensure that there is enough room between seats to avoid the chance of students copying from one another. Another thing, the examination room should be well lighted and ventilated. It should be quiet, free from distractions. So, good conditions of examination room. Uniform conditions refer to the need for all candidates to be accorded similar situations in the examination room. All candidates must be treated equally with supplies. Time, comforts, and instructions. Lighting is one of the most important needs in an examination room. It should be adequate to all in the room. Supervising teacher must satisfy him or herself to his before the examination start. The teacher must also be satisfied that the seating arrangement is proper. Candidates should be preferably not sit at their own desks, for others may have coded facts somewhere. The desks should be completely empty. And candidates should not be able to read the scripts of their fellow candidates. This is minimized by ensuring that a neighbor